Okay, so here we go. Earlier in my story, I sent screenshots. Recent screenshot was the last one. That's like about some serious shit. In Florida, there's a bill that I believe that has been passed that is targeting parents who have queer kids. I was on the Tommy Nation podcast. Shout out to Tommy Nation. I usually co-host for him. He's a pretty cool guy. I was on the Tommy Nation podcast talking with a panel of people. Sauce was there. Forgive me, Sauce. I don't know the name of your podcast. And then this guy named Mike was there. Mike is a podcast host for Savage Unfiltered. Mike is a person who lives in Florida, and he has it out for drag queens to the disgusting point where he's assuming that drag queens are grooming children. Now, I don't need to go any further into that whole stupid ass conversation. It's on all the platforms. You can go on Tommy Nation's profile. You can go on my profile. Link in the description always. You can watch the episode. It's a very heated episode. But the reason why I'm live right now is because of the back and forth that I have been having with this podcaster who literally believes that LGBTQ people, not just drag queens, I'm a member of the LGBTQ community. So this is why I'm very like I'm annoyed. I'm pissed. He assumes that we want to groom people. He assumes that we want to groom kids. Yeah. Like, bro, have you seen Boy Scouts of America? like, have you seen that shit? There's a documentary on it. The Catholic Church, thousands of children. It's not even funny anymore how sickening it is. And there's this stereotype that for some reason, a lot of straight people want to say that LGBTQ people are grooming children. This is not true. Me personally, I don't even like being around kids at all. But there are kids, because I was a kid once, that came out. I didn't get to come out when I was a kid. I was afraid to come out when I was a kid. I feared for my life coming out. That's how different it was. That's how different it was when I was coming up. And I know it's probably still a lot of violence that goes on now, but I would like to believe that I'm 30 years old. I think the world that we live in now, is in this country, is a lot more inclusive and a lot more understanding for LGBTQ culture. But here's the thing. Straight culture is imposed on everyday life. You see it in the movies everywhere. People make jokes about little kids having boyfriends and girlfriends and stuff like that. But as soon as that type of like innocentness of how straight culture is given in everyday life, if it's a mirror of how LGBTQ culture is, people freak out and they go into these 1980s stereotypes that are disproven and do not exist anymore, but they still do it. They still believe in this shit, and you see it all the time, and that's what's happening. I like this conversation it was very heated because he was trying to explain to us that who we are, because Tommy Nation is also queer like I am as well. Who we are, what we stand for, it's wrong and all this stuff, and we're grooming kids. And he said he wants to protect kids. So in the dialogue, I tell him, bro, it shows here in this country especially that a lot of these people that are pedophiles and grooming kids sexually and all this nonsense, a lot of them are straight identifying. Here are the statistics. You're trying to show You're trying to tell me that LGBTQ people are leading in this nonsense when that's not true at all. It's not true at all. I don't give a fuck about whatever TED Talk you went to. That does not reflect my community, does not reflect who we are. I am black first, and I am queer. And I am tired of people always trying to separate the two things. No, black and queer. We exist. We are here. And I always stand for my people. And I always stand for the LGBTQ people as well, too. Why? Because I am queer. And I do not have time to sit here and go on your show, Michael. You want to invite me on your show again. And I hope you see this video. I'm not going to go on your show at all. I'm not. I don't want to go on your show. I don't want to ever go on your show. I do not ever want to have a conversation. I did not get into podcasting to be in a yelling match with other podcasters. I did not get into podcasting to have drama and talk shit about people and all this nonsense that you see on fucking YouTube. I don't do that. That's not my life. I'm on here because I want to actually have something structured and topics and conversations that I enjoy, that I bring to my table. So I don't care about all this fucking drama. I'm not going to argue no more. That was the first time I actually argued with anybody as being a podcaster. And I'm a political podcaster just as much as I like music and the culture. So there's a lot of great times. There's a lot of great times where arguments could be happening. But it's all about being disciplined and mature enough to respect your guests and to talk to your guests like a human being and respect their boundaries and respect what they want to be asked and what they don't want to be asked. If we get into a disagreement, I expect the same respect that I gave as soon as I got into this platform with you. But no matter how much we talked about how what he is saying is wrong, he automatically just wants to say that he's right. No matter what statistics you show, no matter what proof you show, and trust me, he does nothing. Nothing. We can sit here and talk about how there's cases of all the time of children just being pursued by so many people, so many identities, especially being straight, especially being in religious cultures and stuff like this. We could talk about this shit, but it's not worth continuing to have a dialogue with someone that does not want to admit when they're wrong. I was raised to admit when I'm wrong. And I just can't respect people that can't admit when they're wrong. I can't. It's annoying. It gets on my fucking nerves. It bothers me because I feel like when you are automatically getting the information that you need that is set in stone, and this is a different time now. This is a different era. This is not like the 80s and 90s where you can't research as good as you can now. You have the ability to research so much better, so much more efficiently. And if you think you're not even researching hard enough, you have easier access to reference and go and talk to people that have more information on something and bring it to the table. I always say I try to live a life with my ears open and my mouth closed. All right? You have to open your mouth sometimes, but it's always good to have your ears open more than your mouth. It always is. And there was just no type of understanding. And I'm peeved by it. But then I don't care anymore. And I don't think solving things or going on someone's platform who has a following of people that hate people like me fixes anything. I really don't think going on somebody else's platform who has a following of people that hate LGBTQ people like me, and what's for what? Why would I go on your show, Michael, when you have people that are just as facetious and violent verbally and probably physically? Why would I go on your show? So I could deal with these verbal nonsense? Why would I want to argue with you? I said what I said. I said what I said on Tommy Nation's podcast. And that's it. So I'm done with it. And this is it. This is the last time I'm going to speak about it right here. It's sad. It really is sad that people act like this. It's 2023 now, and we are still towing the line of these old ways of thinking. The world is changing. The world is expanding in a different light, and you will be left behind. And I will feel bad for you that you feel this way towards people you don't understand. And I will feel bad for you that you have never had the capacity or the humility to actually sit, listen, and learn instead of doubling down on your own hateful views. And I'm not going to sit here and feel bad that oh, he doesn't want to talk to me anymore, all this shit like that. We had the conversation. If you needed to hear more from me, you can replay those.